Hearing the word recession can conjure up a lot of negative feelings because recessions just are negative, right? You think about the stock market declining, you think about job losses, but what does it really mean for your personal finances? And what can you do to navigate a recession while you pursue your financial goals or without setting yourself back? Well, that's what we're going to cover in today's video. Hey everyone, my name is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance. I'm also the author of the Clever Girl Finance book series and the new book, Choosing to Prosper. Welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So let's talk about how to manage your finances in a recession, plus key tips if you are currently unemployed. And if you are watching this video, I would love to know, how are you managing your finances right now with higher cost of everything, inflation, and just the uncertainty around jobs? Leave a comment below. But first of all, before we talk about navigating a recession, let's talk about what a recession is. So economies are cyclical and they go through periods of expansion where we see a lot of growth. The stock market and investment values are up. The job market is super healthy. And economies also go through periods of decline, like recession. So for example, you might remember the 2008 housing boom or burst, basically. And even right now, the recession that we're in are resulting as part of the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic and also just general global economic uncertainty. And so during a recession, there's typically a decline in industrial and trade activity, and this results in investment declines, job losses, inflation, and more. And depending on where you are financially, a recession can severely impact your finances. So let's talk about the key tips to help you navigate a recession, as well as tips, as I mentioned, if you are currently unemployed. So now is a great time to look at your budget and determine, are there any areas in your budget that you need to trim down? Are there any expenses that you have right now that you need to cut back on so that you can put more money towards establishing an emergency fund if you don't already have one, or expanding the existing emergency fund that you have, or even paying down debt so that you can save money on interest? This is also a good time to look at investing if you have your budget on track and your emergency savings on track and your debt under control. You know, when the stock market is down, a lot of people look at it as a stock market being on sale. However, the vast majority of people are panicking and selling. And so this is a great time to actually buy. But because we cannot predict what the bottom of the market is going to be, what the lowest point is going to be, a smart approach to invest right now during a recession is to leverage a dollar cost averaging approach, where basically you have a certain amount of money that you invest on a consistent basis over a consistent period of time. So for example, you might choose to invest $500 every month or every 2 weeks for the next 12 months. This way you're able to invest across all the different low price points in the market. And we'll link an article below that breaks down all the details and also a video on how dollar cost averaging works. Number two, you want to bulk up your emergency savings. So in a recession or in a period of emergency downturn, having cash is queen, right? Having that income coming in is queen. And if you are not employed, having a fallback plan, which means an emergency fund, is essential. And so again, look back into your budget and determine, are there expenses that you can cut so that you can put more money towards savings? Are there opportunities for you to find ways, side hustles, to increase your income so that you can save more money? But it's really important that you have an emergency savings account right now. If you're just getting started with your financial improvement, then you want to focus on having a baseline emergency savings right away. So putting aside $1,000 to $1,500 to cover your most basic emergency so that you don't have to leverage debt. This could be, you know, repairing your car, replacing tires, repairing a water heater, buying an emergency plane ticket, things like that. Then you want to aim to get your emergency savings to 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, and then ideally to 12 months. So before you close out of this video, because I said 12 months of expenses, keep in mind that this is not your entire 12-month salary. Essentially, you're looking to put aside your basic living expenses. This is survival mode. This is the money that you need to have to pay your rent or your mortgage, buy food, put it on the table, pay for your core utilities, and pay for any necessary medicines that you need. So essentially, this is your need to have, and you drop all of the wants and nice to haves as you plan out how much you need to put aside in emergency savings. And so what you do is you build how much you need to save into your budget, and each time you get paid, if you're currently employed, you put that amount into emergency savings based on what you've budgeted until you're able to meet your emergency savings goal. If you are currently unemployed and you don't have any emergency savings, don't panic. What you want to focus right now is on how you can stabilize your income and bring money in while you don't have a job. So are there any part-time jobs that you can find? Can you even find a job that might be below your skill set but will pay you enough to put food on the table and to pay your bills? There's no shame in doing what you need to do to bring money in if you don't have the ideal job right now. You can also look at things that you own that you may not be using, that you don't need, that have value tied to them, that you can sell on places like Facebook Marketplace, on eBay, Poshmark, and etc. And just going back to the point I made about in a recession focusing on having 12 months of emergency savings, the reason why this is suggested is because during a recession, because of job losses and instability in the economy, it might take longer to find your ideal job than it would during a good economy. So again, start with that baseline emergency savings, then aim to get to 3 to 6 months, and then aim to get to 12 months. Build it into your budget. Every time you get paid, put some money into your emergency savings. And if while you're saving an emergency happens, by all means, leverage the money you have saved, because that is what it is there for. Once you get past the situation, update your budget and then start saving again. But it's really important that you have emergency savings put aside just in case of whatever life might bring you while you are navigating this recession. Number 3, you want to diversify your investments. So you all know the saying, do not put all your eggs in one basket. And that is very, very important, and even more so important when we are navigating a recession. And this is because we're going to see investment declines across different industry classes. And if one industry class declines, because you have diversification, the other different categories might be able to weather the storm depending on how recession proof they are, right? So there are certain industries that are more recession proof than others. For example, products that consumers need to have to survive. So consumer staples, for example, tends to be a recession proof category. And so you want to make sure that you have diversification across your investments. And so investing in index funds and ETFs, for example, and even if you invest in individual stocks, make sure that you're investing across a wide variety of individual stocks so that you have that diversification. If you are unsure and you need guidance, by all means talk to a financial professional, a financial planner or advisor to help guide you through as you make your decisions. But you want to make sure that you go into the meeting clear on your goals and your objectives. And very, very importantly, as you think about diversification and investing during this time, you also want to think long term. Investments, the stock market always goes through declines, but ultimately, right, your investments will recover and they will grow if you have made the smart decisions, and you can continue to take advantage of compounding appreciation and dividends. So do your research before you put your money into anything. Understand your risk tolerance, get clear on your objectives, and we have a completely free course bundle on how investing works on cleverfinance.com that you can check out as well. If you are unemployed right now, it is perfectly fine to put a pause on your investments. Do not feel bad if you are unable to invest. The priority is being able to survive your day-to-day, to have safe housing, food, transportation, core utilities, necessary medicines in your home. So it's okay to pause investing and come back to it when your income stabilizes. In the meantime, even if you're unemployed, you can learn all about how investing works, right? Check out our free courses. There are books you can get for free from your library. There is YouTube. This is a great time to expand your knowledge. Number 4, create multiple streams of income. During times of job uncertainty, a lot of people get super creative and find ways to make money on the side. And this is something that we should all be thinking about, especially in a recession. What ways can you create multiple streams of income? Can you get a part-time job? Can you start a side hustle? Can you sell things in your home that you have but you no longer need? Can you leverage a skill set you are complimented on to bring money in? Start thinking of ideas of how you can create multiple streams of income. We have articles on cleverfinance.com on different ideas to create multiple streams of income and even create passive income. And one fun fact to keep in mind as you brainstorm is that historically, when you look at statistics around recessions and depressions, it has also, those periods of time have also produced the highest number of millionaires compared to any other periods, because like I mentioned, when things get tough, the tough get going. People get creative. People start working on ideas that turn into huge income opportunities. So challenge yourself to start thinking about ways that you can bring in more money. If you do not have, an entrepreneurial streak, or you don't feel like starting a business, there are still other ways in which you can think about expanding multiple income streams, which includes part-time jobs, second jobs, and things like that. So start to brainstorm what you can do. If you are unemployed, it is also a great time for you to explore and try out opportunities to generate multiple streams of income, especially if you have the time, right? If you have a business idea, you have time while you're looking for a job to brainstorm and take the first steps to get your business on its feet. And we have an article on Clever Finance and even a video on the channel that we'll link below as to how to start a business with little to no money. So if you're unemployed right now, this is a great time to start brainstorming ways to create multiple streams of income. And again, there is no shame in working at a job below your skill set to bring money in. No shame in working a part-time job or even multiple part-time jobs to, pad your income and bring in more money into your household. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button below. Tell your best girlfriends about Clever Finance. Send this video to someone that you think might need it. And stop by cleverfinance.com. We have over 30 plus completely free courses, and we update our blog every single day with content and articles on a variety of different topics. Okay, let's get back to these tips. Number 5, pay off debt. So if you are currently employed, you have a steady income, you have your emergency savings in place, this is a great time to accelerate your debt repayment if you have high interest debt, to save money on interest, right? Interest compounds and costs you a lot of money, especially on credit cards when it compounds every single month. So this is a great time to look at your budget, look at ways to increase your income so that you can accelerate paying off that debt as quickly as possible. And then you can take that money and repurpose it into saving more or investing. If you are unemployed, it is okay to only make minimum payments if you can afford to, or to pick up your phone and call your creditors and let them know that you have lost your job and you're currently facing financial difficulty. Once you find a new job, once your income stabilizes, then you can come back to an accelerated debt repayment process. But if you do not have a job right now and you cannot afford to pay your debts, then definitely make sure that you reach out to your creditors. And one thing I want to mention is that a lot of times there is a lot of judgment when someone has lost their job and they did not have any savings or they cannot afford to pay their bills. But I think it's very important that we all show empathy, because a lot of times we don't know what someone is going through. Someone may have just started their financial journey and may have just started thinking about emergency savings, and then they lost their job. They may have a serious health issue or for themselves or a loved one in their household that is severely impacting their finances. They may be going through an expensive divorce or separation, or even the death of a loved one. So it's important that we don't judge, and instead we are empathetic to other folks as well. I just wanted to say that. Number 6, live on one income and save the other. So if you're in a 2-income household and you're able to navigate your finances and your expenses, see how much of one income you can put aside towards saving and investments while you focus on living on just the one income. And this would mean looking at your budget and seeing what areas in your budget you can cut back on, what areas with your living expenses that you can downsize, and also determine, right, if you're unable to live on just the one income, are together opportunities for you to bring in more income that you can dedicate that extra income solely to saving or investing or even paying down debt. And number 7, consider a recession-proof job. So there are certain job industries where they are considered to be recession-proof or recession-resistant, which means when other industries are doing mass layoffs, these industries tend to be a little bit more stable. And some examples include healthcare workers, accountants, repair services, childcare services, and etc. So one of the things that you can do if you're thinking about career stability, job stability during times of recession is to think about maybe moving or finding a job in one of these industries that is more recession proof or recession resistant. Alternatively, you can also consider starting a business or a side hustle in one of these industries. So for example, baby products. Parents are always going to buy food and essentials for their babies. This is a really great recession resistant business. Repair services, technology services, legal services. These industries tend to be more recession resistant. So while we cannot predict how long a recession will last, when it's going to happen, etc., it's always important that we are prepared. So be sure to leverage these tips to start to prepare yourself to navigate through this recession or even a period of financial difficulty in your own personal life. By having a plan in place, you can minimize financial disaster and instead work around it or work through it because you have this plan in place. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. Please hit the like button below, subscribe to this channel, share in the comments what you thought about it and how you are navigating through this recession. And please stop by clevergirlfinance.com to check out our blog that's updated every single day and our over 30+ completely free courses to help you on your journey to financial wellness. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.